Okay, so I got a little bonus for you. I did say I was going to mention guitar tab, and I couldn't resist it, being a guitarist. So what I've done is I've done a little rock version here of our Tuts Plus theme, and basically I've tabbed it out. Um, Now, I've got to say, Logic is pretty good when it comes to tab. It's a bit complicated. Um, if you have a MIDI guitar, I don't know if you have a MIDI guitar, but it's fairly easy to do. In fact, it's incredibly easy to do if you have a MIDI guitar, which I will explain in a little bit. So look, let's just check this out. This should be quite amusing for everyone, I'm sure. And let's have a listen. Okay, so Guitar Hero, here we come. Now then, to do this, to tab it out, let me just show you the tab, okay? This was the end result, okay? And that's a pretty reasonable looking tab, okay? We've got, markings for pull-offs, taps, slides. We've got some bend markings here. Now, these are a little bit clunky because basically sometimes you have to kind of bodge it with kind of classical markings or whatever. I think in here, in the part box, I can't quite remember where they are. Look, here you go. You've got some arrows here, and you just use these. Now, in the guitar box here, I have my bend markings, tab. You've got some, dampening here, upstrokes, downstrokes, palm mute, slap, fingering, cymbals. So, it's got pretty much everything you need. Now, if you compare this to something, I did the same thing in Guitar Pro. I just knocked this up very quickly. It's actually pretty similar. Now, Guitar Pro is a dedicated tab piece of software. Now, there are many of these types of sort of applications around. I think Power Tab on Windows is very popular, mainly because it's free. Guitar Pro for Windows and Mac, I think it's about $50. I mean, there's tons of them out there, and quite frankly, you're better off using a dedicated tab editor because this is really easy to input notes because you just type in, the fret number you want. And kind of the reason that tab is incredibly popular, and I can guarantee you that everybody out there who is watching this that plays the guitar, there may be a chance that you can't read, notated music, but I can guarantee you probably know how to read tab. It's incredibly easy to pick up. You can pick it up in like 2 minutes. And it is the kind of, the standard way to learn how to play things on the guitar now, or on the bass or whatever, when I started playing guitar, I don't even want to think about it, nearly 30 years ago, tab wasn't all that prevalent. I learnt everything off of records or whatever, or from a teacher. Now, having been a teacher myself, fairly a large guitar school, sort of clocking up 500 students or whatever, I've done my fair share of tabbing. And I can guarantee you that this way is a lot easier than doing it in Logic. Saying that, though, if you have a MIDI guitar, which thankfully I do, tabbing is really easy because it would do it for you automatically. You just play it in on the MIDI guitar and Logic just tabs it for you immediately. So that's kind of the way forward for me now. Now I'm going to show you how this works very quickly. What you do, you here you can see I have one, it's a treble clef on the top, and a tab clef on the bottom. Now, one thing I will say, you know, when you're looking at tab, be honest with yourself. When was the last time you read tab? Did you look at the notes on the top? Probably not. Okay, so I mean, you can write tab that has the stems actually written onto the tab, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so I've got my staff style here that I've created. I just went to new, you know, dual staff style. I could rename this, you know, guitar tab if I wanted to. Let's hit return there. Close this up. Okay, now the other main thing you have to do is go into tablature here. Now for MIDI, or to actually tab stuff in Logic properly, you have to assign this thing that says individual channel. This means every string is on a different channel. So what you're doing here is you're giving Logic a starting point for the pitch of the string, and it knows that if you go up a semitone from E2, it's going to be on fret 1. So E2 is going to be fret 0, F2 is going to be fret 1, you know, whatever, G flat 2 is going to be on fret 2, or whatever, or F sharp is going to be on F2. I'm confusing myself. Anyway, so what it basically does, it gives us a starting point for the string, and because there's only one possible place a note can be played on a string, it kind of knows what fret it's on. Okay, so you can see this note here. If I just close this up and open the event list very quickly, you'll see that this note is on channel 5. It's a G3. It's on channel 5, which is string 5, and the only possible place for this note to exist on this string is at fret 10. Okay, so Logic just puts it on fret 10. Now, if you don't know how to play the guitar, tabbing is going to be impossible, because how do you know which note or which string the note is played on? So you have to have a little bit of experience on the guitar to do this. Now, another thing about Logic which actually pushes it above some tabbing software, most tabbing software actually, is the ability to have a very high number of strings. Okay, in Logic 9, it's been upgraded from 8 strings, I think, to 16 strings, which immediately got my rather harebrained mind going, and I thought, oh, I'll try this. Right, okay, so what you're seeing here is some pedal steel tab, okay, which I have never been able to do on any other tabbing software. Now, I do play the pedal steel. It's incredibly difficult to play, and if you haven't played it for a long time, it's incredibly difficult to remember all the stuff you learned when you were playing it. Now, I used to tab all my stuff out by hand. You know, if I came up with a cool little lick, I'd just write it down in tab just so I could remember it. And I've discovered that you can actually tab Logic, or tab pedal steel pretty accurately in Logic. It's extremely complicated to do, and if you don't play pedal steel, you haven't got a chance in hell. I understand that this is probably a bit of a niche genre here, but it is possible. Here I've made a little sort of mock-up of a pedal steel lick using Omnisphere. Now, in a mix, there may be a chance that you probably may get away with that. What I've basically done here is I've gone into layout tablature, and I've given Logic the reference pitches of a pedal steel tuning. So the lowest string is B1, so it's going to know that if you know, that note is on MIDI channel 10 or whatever, it's going to know that the starting point is B1, so fret 1 is, you know, or C is going to be on fret 1. I say fret 1 pedal steel doesn't have any frets, it's all played with a slide. Hence the fact that all of these are the same numbers. Okay, now there's some other jiggery pokery kind of at work here behind the scenes, and that is pitch bend data. The pedal steel works on the premise of you can change the pitch of strings with pedals. Okay, so the only way to get this chord to go at the end, go bow bow, is to put the slide on fret 3 on these strings, and then hit the A and B pedals, which raises the kind of same position to a different chord. Now you have to know what strings do what bending, and so this third string, the B pedal raises it by a semitone. Oh, it's so complicated. I don't know what. I was going to try and do like a little bit of a piece with this, but I just thought, oh, it's too complicated. But at least I know, it can be done in Logic, which is a bit of a mad experiment, but there you go. So, like I say, if you're going to do some tabbing, get a dedicated tab editor, but it is possible to do. There's no reason why you couldn't do mandolin, banjo. It could tab out all sorts of stuff. And the only thing you really need to give Logic is the the reference pitches of the tuning, because then it can work out the fret numbers. If you assign a string, here we go, just let me go back to here. Where is it? If I've got this note here, this G note here, and I assign it to MIDI channel 5, which Logic is knowing it's string 5, this is the only place that this note can exist on that string, because there is only one note possible, note combination per string. Anyway, if you're stupid enough to get into that, then be my guest. So, this is Toby Pittman signing out, and I will see you next time. Good luck.